Here at Track and Field, Coach Sean McMahon. Coach, you're heading into the St. Olaf Qualifier on Friday night, the last indoor meet before the indoor championships next weekend. Coming off of a pretty solid performance at the East Bay Invitational last weekend. Talk a little bit about what you saw up in Stevens Point.
Yeah, it was a huge meet, long day. It gets tough sometimes for kids who especially have maybe one event that's late in the day. But you know, that was just it. One of the focuses I've given to the team in my message is we go to a lot of trouble to get opportunities to compete, and that's the only chance for you to shine. I mean, you're putting in all these hours during the week for a couple of moments in a town 4 hours away and 7 hours after you wake up. So they've been great about focusing, and you know, that's what came out of Stevens Point. And of course, Coco's 13-meter shot put is probably the highlight of the day.
You know, that was an interesting one. We talked after the meet, and you were pretty pumped about Coco's throw. Is she kind of right in the spot she needs to be as she's getting ready for conference championships?
I think so. She, you know, on a good day, if Becky Culp from Hamlin doesn't have a great day, then Coco is right there to beat her. But she's throwing further than she did last year at this time, and I think her attitude and health are better at this point. And I like how she's set up to go into conference next week. That's not even saying how well she'll do coming up on tomorrow night at St. Olaf. But yeah, I think she's ready to go, and you know, it bodes well even now as we think ahead to outdoors how effective she could be in April.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Friday, the St. Olaf Qualifier. Most of the people that you have that are going to be qualified for a conference have already kind of set themselves in place. How do you approach Friday, and what are your expectations for this last meet before the championships?
Yeah, people who maybe were hoping to qualify for conference probably have performances right now to get them in. We don't run preliminaries at our conference championships in events other than the 60 and 60 hurdles. So sometimes you want to run a faster time just to get into a better race come conference time, and that's what we're doing with a few of the people. There's a couple runners, like Gabe Thiel comes to mind. He's already in and probably in the 8. We'd like to get him in the 600 too, and so we're going to give him one chance on Friday night, maybe get on the list and run a couple of events next week at the conference championship. But overall, even for the student athletes who haven't qualified for the conference meet, this is their last indoor meet, and so this is their time to we put them in their best event. This is their time for their season best, and this is a time to really perform well, basically heading into the spring break. On the heels of that, then we go outside.
And talk a little bit about this meet in terms of it kind of gives you an opportunity to see what some of the other conference schools have to offer. You're going head to head with other schools that you will face next week at the conference championships. Does that make a difference?
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen St. Thomas, St. Kate's, Augsburg, McAllister, and Bethel, but we haven't seen any of the other schools, and so and that's just a function of the schedule. And I don't think that's too bad. But yeah, you get a really good idea because the MIAC is really the only conference in the region right now that doesn't have a conference championship this week. We're kind of relegated to only competing against ourselves for not only next week in our conference championships, but this week because we don't compete in another conference title meet. So.
St. Olaf Qualifier Friday night in Northfield, the last tune-up before the conference championships. Good luck.